Hey guys, it's Julie. Today we're going to try on some more Dior makeup. I have some newer releases from Dior and I have a not so new release. This is the Dior Forever Skin Wear Foundation. I have tried the Skin Glow, so let's see how this one performs. And then I also have the new Glass Shine lipsticks that were just released and the new Dior sunscreen. So I cannot wait to try these on with you. And there are a couple of more products I'd like to show you today with this look. So with that, I hope that you will subscribe, and let's get on with the show. Okay guys, here is my recent haul of Dior products that I want to share with you. I want to specifically get into a comparison between the new Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation, and I want to compare that to the Dior Forever Skin Wear, which is going to be the more mattifying formula of the two. And we'll talk about what I think. I have not tried the Dior Forever Skin Wear at home, but I did have someone try it on my skin at the Dior counter. I went to a Dior event where they had a national makeup artist and they tried it on me there, and I did really enjoy the finish of the skin wear compared to the glow. I have a ton of Dior makeup already. I don't really need more Dior. I know Dior is a great brand. They're solid. I've used them for years, but they are very pricey. So I have no problem trying other brands and finding things that work just as good. But today I have a friend's birthday party I'd like to go to. She says to dress fancy, so I'm going to be wearing Christian Dior makeup. So one of the recent items that I have picked up from Christian Dior is their new sunscreen. For years, maybe even decades, I have been waiting for Dior to come out with a dedicated sunscreen. They normally will have like a sunscreen built into the foundation. They've had a sunscreen for the body, but not really for the face. There have been products that I think made a short debut with Dior as being a sunscreen, but this is a fully dedicated sunscreen. It is Fluide UV Visible SPF 50. It's broad spectrum. It has the active ingredients of avobenzone, 3%, homosalate, 15%, octisalate, 5%, and octocrylene, 10%. One of the things I noticed about this immediately out of the box is just how small this bottle is. This is so small. I was a little bit discouraged by the purchase, but when you wear this, it only takes, a small amount to cover the whole face. What I normally do is I normally will place about that much on each side of the face, and it does cover. You can see the cast. It has a white cast. Has the it has like a Dior fragrance and a sunscreen fragrance in one, but it doesn't linger. I don't notice this lingering. And then I'll do, of course, another strand for the forehead. And I've had this quite a while, actually. It is lasting as long as my other sunscreens would last. So the tube is very small. It's going to be perfect for your purse or your sun bag, your beach bag. It is a cream, but it's a lightweight cream. I really like this a lot. I don't know if it's necessarily something that I would repurchase, because there are other sunscreens that I've used for the face that are a lot less expensive and they do the job. They work underneath my makeup. That's something that I'm looking for, is something that's not going to make my makeup greasy or slide away. What I do is I usually use this on my face, and then I have a little bit of a body sunscreen. I'll use that on my neck and chest. Basically, in other words, I like to save the good stuff for my face, and then I'll use something else for my neck and chest because this is so expensive. So I'll make sure to put the price of this somewhere in the video. All right, it does have a really nice finish. It's kind of like a satin finish. It's got a little bit of glow, but it's not greasy or tacky. It does absorb very quickly, so I use this as my moisturizer and sunscreen during the summer months. Feels very good. It's a perfect makeup priming base as well. I love this underneath the makeup. I have the new Dior Backstage Air Flash Mist. Now this is not only a setting spray, but it is a makeup primer. And I found that when I wore this for about a week, using it both underneath my makeup and over my makeup, that my makeup lasted all day. So I do have my sunscreen that has absorbed in. I'm just going to do a spritz of this all over the face, just kind of to make a nice little flat surface for this makeup. And of course you have to give this time to dry before applying the makeup. It has a really nice smell, something that I recognize. Dior has several different smells we recognize as being a Dior product. I can't put my foot on it right now what it is, but it's beautiful. If you don't like fragrance of this, you smell it upon application, but it does not linger. All right, I've got a beauty blender. I'm just going to kind of help this absorb a little bit into the skin. My skin is very glowy right now because of that Backstage Air Flash Mist. You can see just how much glow there is on the skin. And with me having kind of a tendency to get really shiny during the day, and I have pronounced pores, I just want to kind of get rid of a little bit of that shine. And now we are ready to compare these two products. The Dior Forever Skin Glow Formula. I have this in the shade 2N, and then I have the Forever Skin Wear Mattifying Formula. And unfortunately, they did not have 2N in stock, so I went with 2.5 neutral, because what I noticed is that this formula, the Dior Forever Skin Glow formula, this tends to oxidize, and I'll make sure to put a picture in the corner showing you what this looks like after setting. And then this one I notice does not oxidize nearly as much. So the Forever Skin Wear is a flawless skin true foundation, 24-hour ultra makeup wear, non-transfer, triple action care with a sunscreen. It does have niacinamide. It has a hyaluronic and peptide complex. Okay, so the formulas I believe are slightly different. I think one is more long wearing than the other, if I'm not mistaken. And one has kind of more of that radiance, where the skin wear is going to be more oil absorption and control. So we have the 2N and the Forever Skin Glow. And this is the 2.5 in the skin wear. You can see definitely 2.5 is darker. So we'll see how this does. I'm going to give it a nice shake. I prefer to apply foundation with my fingers, especially with Dior. I think the formulas are so lovely to feel on your fingers, and it feels like you're applying a skincare product. And then if I need to, I'll use a beauty blender sponge just to kind of go in and help make things flawless. Right, so we have our formula. I'm just going to take a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and we're just going to tilt that this way so that we can see what that looks like. Let me compare that to the glow. Let's just take the glow and put a little bit of this on the back of the hand. And of course, since I was shaking the bottle, my first pump is kind of dripping a little bit. So this is the 2N and this is the 2.5. So definitely 2.5 is a little bit more warm, which is not really what I'm looking for. I like more of this tone, but again, like I said, it oxidized. We are going to give the 2.5 a try. Should not have wasted that product. Okay, so we're going to try it on with the finger. We're going to see how this works. So I traditionally do like a foundation that blurs, that is very thin but has good blurring and coverage properties. I don't like to have to feel heavily made up to look good. And Dior delivers on that in so many ways. But the Skin Glow, although it went on beautifully, after a few minutes, it did oxidize. And it oxidized into kind of a pinky rosy tone, even though I had purchased 2N neutral. And I had tried it several days in a row, and no matter what I did, it continued to oxidize in that manner. And I just looked, my neck and my face just did not match. So I ended up having to pull it all the way down my neck. which is okay. I don't mind doing that. But I'm just trying to see if I can do better with this skin wear formula. I can already see that this looks pretty good. Even though it's 2.5, it does seem to blend nicely in with my complexion. And do a little bit on the chin. And nothing right now is blowing me out of the water. Like, I have been trying foundations from Urban Decay, which are long wearing. Benefit, their professional foundation really surprised me. And most recently, I've been using the Cali Ray Skin Tint. And those have all really been great. So the Dior to me looks very similar right off the bat. It doesn't really look any better. It doesn't look any worse. I still see pores, although over here they're much more pronounced. But so far, the Dior looks nice. I noticed that as this is sitting on my face, it is becoming more matte. And it is definitely doing like a really cool thing. It's blurring the pores. So I'll just kind of move in so you can see. It looks really good. I have not yet put any on my neck. Let's go in to the other side and let's apply. So of course we have to test this and see how it wears. But I'm thinking I really like this with the fingers. I like smoothing it on. I think fingers are just so underestimated. Just smooths on the product so nicely. You don't have any brush marks on your face, and it doesn't waste the product. I feel like with brushes sometimes, and even sponges, you waste your product. And I certainly did waste one pump of the product earlier when I was demonstrating on the back of my hand, so shame on me. But this has a nice satiny feel underneath the fingers. I just love the way this feels. It feels so nice. And again, you let it dry down and it has a smoothing property. And I think the color is beautiful. So it starts off kind of warm, and you can see over here it's cooled off a little bit. It's cooled down. So it's definitely different than the glow. The glow is the opposite. It definitely oxidizes more, and it doesn't set like this one does. This one's kind of self-setting like the Urban Decay. And I think the SPF is different in each formula. I think this one has SPF of 20. And I think that the Glow has a higher SPF if I'm not mistaken. But I really think that this is nice. This looks so good. We're going to go ahead and put some on the neck because I just like to have everything be just kind of, just love this. Feels so good. It's not greasy. I like everything to be cohesive. It definitely feels luxury. It feels so nice. I'm going to put some even on my chest, I think a little bit on the chest, just to kind of even things out. Kind of see how it looks on the chest. Definitely airbrushing all those sunspots away. It looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, yet still has that glow. A little bit on the nose where I tend to lose makeup. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm going to recap it. And again, this is the Dior Forever Skin Wear. Okay, now we're going to go into brows and concealer. I like to use the Dior Forever. This is a corrector. I have 2CR Cool Rosy. I have our Dior Show Brow Styler. And this is the dark brown, I believe. Going to put this on underneath the eyes and just kind of, I'm going to sculpt the face. I'm going to use this kind of to highlight areas. And then I'm going to let it sit and let it kind of form a film that's going to be long wearing. And then I'll come in and do my brows. And after my brows are done, I can go in and blend. So this is our concealer. And this has a ton of coverage. So this can also contribute to your makeup looking heavy if you're not careful. Just, I would say one dip into the well is enough. You really don't want to overdo this. I might do just a little bit along the jawline, but if you overdo this too cool rosy, it could end up, this could be what made my makeup look pinky the last time I used it. It does have a rosy tint to it. I probably, in retrospect, would have fared better with a brighter tone. I have my brow styler. It is a filler. It is a micro pencil, meaning it gives you the illusion of those hairs. And it's long wearing. Kind of your all-in-one product. They do have a brow gel, I believe, that you could use. But I love the spoolie. Look how defined my brow looks. Truly looks like hair. See the difference? My natural brow color is very grayish looking. Okay, now I'm going to go in with kind of a foundation style brush, and I am going to blend out this concealer just a tad. I'm going to try to keep it in the eye area because I don't want to alter the color of the foundation in 2.5. I thought that was a great color for me. While the 2N, which is a half shade lighter in the Skin Glow, seemed to oxidize. But this looks really nice, beautiful. So far, I am preferring the Skin Wear to the Skin Glow. This experience has been a little bit better. And just for reference, I'm 45 years old. I'm about to turn 46. And I still get shiny. And if I get the wrong formula foundation, it really makes my skin look tired. It makes my skin look oily and greasy. But with the foundations that are out now, like I'm going to tell you right now, Benefit and Urban Decay and Cali Ray have some great foundations. I've been trying those recently and I really like those. But this Dior Forever Skin Wear is really nice too, but much more pricey. It's beautiful. It's flawless. So to help sculpt the face, I am going to go for the Dior Cream Bronzer. And this is in shade 2. And I do have the Dior Contour Stick, but it's very dark. So I'm going to try just using this today. Just like everybody says, it has like a Manoi flower smell. But I'm just going to go ahead and apply this kind of to the rear of my face. I'm going to use this kind of like a contour bronzer. I think this shade is really nice. We're just going to have fun with this with a brush. We're going to blend that out. Very silky smooth, very sheer. Very flattering color. It's not greasy looking. It's not shiny. Just airbrushing. Does appear to airbrush. And I know a lot of people like the powder bronzer from Dior, but I just cannot bring myself to purchase that. To me, when I try it in store, it just doesn't look very, very interesting. Like, I definitely like creams, but I could be wrong. But I really wanted to try this one, so I picked this one up. And this one is really pretty. Let's do a little bit more. Let's see if we can build it just ever so slightly. I like to do a little bit on the lid as well. I am so glad that Dior is coming out with the creams. I see that they have some more stick and cream formulas on the horizon coming out. This is so pretty. It's gorgeous. I love this stick, number 2. Love it. All right, I picked up one of these new cream eyeshadow sticks. This is the Flash Stick. It's Dior Show Flash Stick. It's a waterproof pencil, I believe. Let's see here what it says. It is waterproof. It is long wear, radiant color, ultra gliding eyeshadow stick. And I got the shade Rosewood Tulle 851. They were out of a lot of the colors. And a stick to me is nothing spectacular. I know that Dior has come out with sticks in the past. They come out with these creamy eyeshadow sticks. And they're okay. So we'll just see how this one does. Is it going to show up at all? It looks so natural. I'm going to just kind of tap it in with my finger. It's very pretty. Let me see this on the hand because I feel like, okay, there we go. It's beautiful. I feel like it is really gliding on there. It says that it's waterproof. Okay, let's try it on the other side. We're just going to go for this monochromatic look today. This is going to most likely bring out the green in my eye. All right, I'm going to open this brush over here. It's on the inside of my Saint brush. I'll make sure to link this brush into the description. This is a really great multitasking brush. And of course, I'm going to go underneath as well. Get a nice monochromatic look. It looks good. I like that pinky color. Very natural, very, very natural. So we're going to have to do a smoky eye because I like a smoky eye when I have a monochromatic look. Okay, I only have the Dior Show liquid liner in satin brown. I only have that. I do not have a pencil from Dior. I don't think I do. So we're just going to use this, and if I need to, I can kind of smoke it up a little bit with a brush. Let me take this little brush end on the Saint brush and see if we can get some blending on the end. I really do prefer a pencil these days. I used to love liquid eyeliner, but I love the softness that you can create with a pencil. And I love smudging and smoking. And I am going in just slightly and tapping, but you have to be careful because with the liquid, it does tend to just come off completely when you blend away at it, because this is not really made to blend in that fashion. But I do have this Dior eyeshadow, palette in the Lilac Tulle. It was one of the newer palettes that came out, and I think I will use the applicator that comes inside here just to add a little bit of this crimson shade into the corner, just to kind of smoke it up just ever so slightly. Just a tap of this in the corner, and then I'll come back with a brush and blend that. And I think this color complements the cream eyeshadow color that I've chosen. It works really good. Try to blend that a little bit. Seems to be working good. All right, that looks good. I like that. Okay, I have the Dior Over Volume Mascara. We're going to try that on. This one's probably dried out considerably. I've had it quite a while, but I'm going to go ahead and use it to keep this look all Dior today. Definitely time for a new tube. And as this has dried up in the tube, it's definitely gotten more fluffy. Looks really pretty. We'll do the other eye. Now I'm going to go ahead and mattify my complexion using the Dior Nude Radiant Filter in number 00 Luminescent. If I remember correctly, they have a matte version as well, but I like a little bit of a brightening powder. So we're going to go ahead and use this kind of to just mattify and blur, especially in the T-zone. I have not yet put blush on, but you can kind of see what this powder does. You can see how this has kind of a shine to it, and then this side has the glow, but without the shine. So it's a really fabulous powder. I have been using Cali Ray's powder, and I love that. It is so blurring, but it's a little bit more obvious. It's a little bit more matte. So this powder gives you kind of somewhere in between. You can use it over areas that have a shine, but it maintains the glow, but without getting rid of the, well, it maintains the glow without looking shiny, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I like to use it under the eyes too. It looks good. Okay, I love Dior lip products, and I picked up 3 products here that I want to show you. I have the Beige Couture in the Rouge Dior Velvet. This is shade 220. So I just want to swatch that for you. This is a velvet formula. You can see that color. And I'm just going to swatch that for you right here. It's a really pretty color, nude color. And then we have the Dior Addict Lip Maximizer in shade Beige 013. And as you can see or hear me say, I'm going for that beige theme. This is really pretty. And this is actually going to plump your lips. And it has like a minty, like a vanilla mint smell. It goes really nicely with the cream eyeshadow. We'll probably use that as a topper. And last but not least, this is their new Dior Addict Glass Lipstick. And these have just launched. This is Gem Dior 184. And this one comes in a glassy package. And this one is white with glitter, kind of a beigey color. I said white, but it's more of like a warm golden color. It doesn't have really any color. It's just kind of a shimmer. So I think this will look good kind of as a topper. So we will try the Beige Couture on first. Let's do that. We'll see how that looks. And because my intent is to layer, we're just going to do just a tiny bit of that. And then I would like to try on the Gem Dior. You can see that gives it that glassy shimmer. All right, I'm going to go in with the Nude Ribbon Lip Liner from Dior just to give a little bit more volume to the lips. Gives it a nice contour. The Nude Ribbon color is just so pretty. And of course, with the Rouge Dior Velvet underneath the glass, it's going to last a little bit longer. And then finally, I want to try the lip maximizer on top. And I find that the lip maximizer really does, after a few minutes, volumize the lips. For blush today, I'm going to use Dior Glow Maximizer color in Rosy. I think this will look perfect on the cheeks. I'm just going to use my finger today. I'm just going to go right on this applicator because a little bit goes a long way. And this is going to provide our cheek color. I bought this color in the Glow Maximizer because I thought out of all the colors, this one could truly be used as both a highlighter and a blush. And it complements the eyeshadow and the lips perfectly. And I'll just take this brush just to kind of make sure that everything is in. And I also decided to pick up the Dior Forever Glow Luminizer in Pink Strobe. I do have the Backstage Luminizing palette, but I've never owned one of these palettes. And I hear such great things about them. So the Pink Strobe is a beautiful color. I think it's going to complement this look today perfectly. I'm going to use my daughter's little brush. This is Squishmallow. We're going to go into the Dior and just do some of this today. And honestly, with the Glow Maximizer, this doesn't really do much. It's got that golden shimmer. It's pretty, but I think I already have enough pink, so I'm wondering should have gotten something a little bit lighter. That is pretty though. Doesn't really show up a lot though. So the pink strobe is pretty, but on my skin tone it doesn't really show up. I tend to like something a little bit brighter. The sales lady picked this out for me and I had reservations about it, but yeah, I think that would be prettier on a lighter skin tone On my skin tone, it just doesn't really do much. And we're going to finish off with a spritz of the Dior Backstage Air Flash Mist. Smells so good. And I have the Glow Mist on. It's gorgeous, but I do want to take a little bit of the Dior Forever Foundation Compact. This is 2 in. I'm just going to kind of mattify the middle of the T-zone here. I just think it gets a little bit too shiny there. So we're just going to kind of stamp that in. Hopefully that'll help it last all day and look so airbrushed. It's gorgeous though. I love that Glow Mist. It's pretty. All right, and this completes the look. I'm going to go do my hair and I'll be right back. Okay, here is the finished look with my hair and everything done. It does look really pretty, doesn't it? And I brought out of the bag the new fragrance that I just got. I am a huge Dior, Miss Dior fragrance fan. I've used this fragrance since the beginning when they came out with Miss Dior Cherie. I love that fragrance. So that one is long gone. And I've gotten the most recent interpretation, or it's not the most recent, but I've gotten my most recent interpretation that I've not tried is the Roses and Roses. It's a beautiful bottle, and this is perfect for spring and summer. It's lighter weight. I like the Miss Dior Parfum. That is my favorite. So we're just going to spray this on a little bit more liberally because it is Eau de Toilette. Roses and Roses is an Eau de Toilette, which is a lighter interpretation. But I will say that this lasts all day long on me. This is extremely long wearing. And my husband said he did not like it, but at the end of the day, he was asking me what I was wearing, and I said, it's the fragrance that you said you didn't like. So with that said, we are going to see how this foundation performs. I will check back in after the party, and actually we'll upload that to the end of this film. It looks pretty. The foundation looks good. I find that with the Dior Forever formulas and their powders, I don't feel like I look my best through here. I feel like the Cali Ray, the Urban Decay, and the Benefit looked better. I feel like the Dior does nothing for my aging poor T-zone. It doesn't look bad. It's pretty, but I have seen myself look better. So I have to maintain that as of now, I will not repurchase the Dior Forever Foundation series for myself. It does not warrant the price tag. Now, it may be different for somebody else that has different skin. It may be completely different. It may be their holy grail. And I do not want to deter you from trying this foundation, but have you tried Urban Decay? Have you tried Cali Ray? Have you tried Benefit? Those brands are specifically targeting concerns of oil, grease, shine, and pores. Those brands do really good. So I'm not saying this looks bad, but it just doesn't look the most airbrushing. It does definitely look more airbrushing than the Skin Glow formula. So we'll just check back and see if my mind changes by the end of the day. Okay, it is 11:35 in the evening, and I just got home from a party where there was lots of dancing. And I just wanted to share with you before I fell asleep, the Dior Forever foundation. It looks like it's held up really good. This is not the same kind of lighting that we were looking at earlier in the day. I was in front of a window. It's much more flattering. I think the Dior has really held up beautifully. So it definitely has some good longevity. I think, you know, it feels really soft. I kept feeling my face, how soft it is. Feels really, really good. It definitely did not oxidize like the Skin Glow. This color, even though it's darker than the 2N in the Skin Glow, this 2.5N stayed, I feel, truer to its color. All right, with that said, signing off. Looks good. All right, bye everybody.